shit. Welcome to Oops All Segments, the best podcast. I'm hitting your eardrums at this very moment. I'm Kevin.
I'm Thomas. Today we're here with our returning guest and friend, Jesse Bergen. Welcome back, Jesse.
Oh, yeah. So good to be back. So good.
Kevin thought he had enough time in our intro to take a big swig of his water bottle, which is why he sounded startled when the show started.
I kind of forgot our theme song is so short for a second.
We used to have some time. You could finish a banana real quick and like sort of get your day started in the theme song. No longer.
But that hasn't been the case for about 3 months, 36 episodes or whatever. Yeah. Jesse, what's up with you, man? What's going on in your life?
To clarify, 36 episodes is 9 months, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Wow. one baby, one gestation period.
Yeah, we're in the third trimester, Kevin. You gotta figure this out.
I'm about
the time to read the Dr. Spock book was months ago. You need to be ready to birth this new podcast.
He's on a spaceship and he knows about babies. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, the trick to being a good parent is to not understand feelings.
Totally.
I've decided to make this episode entirely unlistenable for people like Kim by eating throughout the entire first 5 to 10 minutes.
We have some misophonia listeners who don't love us chewing on the show, and yet we're always really hungry when we record, and so here we are.
We're starving.
Yeah, going for the misophonia demographic, incredibly challenging. Incredibly challenging.
We're kind of the opposite of ASMR. We're sort of. What does ASMR stand for?
It stands for, what is it? Alligator switch.
What?
Mr.
ASMR?
It's autonomous sensory meridian response. So I was trying to think of what the antithesis.
I don't think I ever knew that until just now.
Yeah, me neither.
Meridian was a surprise for sure.
Yeah. Well,
wow. I'm trying to think of something. I'm trying to think of something funny.
Yeah, I couldn't even get to the letters. So.
Yeah, like what, ASMR, like well, A could just be something. So that's
good.
Easy.
That's easy. We're already onto the S.
And then sometimes ASMR will be like somebody stepping on something, right?
Uh-oh.
So a step M.
A step might.
Oh man. Yeah. Might. And then R obviously would be I don't know, what's maybe like what does it normally stand for? Let's just use what it would normally be.
Yeah, what was that again? Response.
A step might response. Great. That's okay. Good.
Wow. This is the worst start to an episode we've ever had. Far and away.
I think we say that a lot, but I think if we really look back at the archive, we've done much worse than this.
This is definitely my best start. So I don't know.
Kevin and Jesse are deep in the production week of Streetcar, so they're running on fumes. I'm equally stressed out because the Switch 2 came out this week, and I've been not sleeping due to excitement.
That's a production in of itself, right?
Yeah.
You've always depended on the video games of Miyamoto.
Yeah. Wait a second. That could be the M. A Switch Miyamoto response. Yeah.
And the R is a real killer.
The R is tough. Are there any words that start with R other than response?
I don't think so.
There are, right?
Jesse, what is going on with you? We'd like to start the show with a check-in. Other than the show, anything fun and exciting?
Well, it's the world is doing well. Everything's really great. Peace.
Really
on
wasn't
earth.
Expecting you to say that, but
kindness
nice to hear.
Abounds. You know me, always looking on the bright side. Always looking on the. Hey, baby, take a look at these clouds and cover your eyes because they're all silver lining, baby. Right to the middle. These clouds are pure silver.
Kevin's water bottle looked half full when he took a swig at the start. To me,
I'd say baby
opaque as well, just for the sake of
Yeah, no, I'm.
How are you enjoying? How are you enjoying your Switch 2?
Oh,
you have a Switch 2 as well.
I have a Switch 2 too.
Okay, I'll let you guys talk Switch.
Yeah, and Kevin's gonna go do a bathroom break.
Yeah. A bio break, as we say in the biz.
What the fuck? Bio break?
I've heard that term.
Sounds like an arcade game you would play with like a big gun that you hold. Like bio break.
Absolutely. Every fighter in this video game has too many like angles, like very polygon heavy, and they all have weird names like Chunk Head or like Knife Bones.
Knife Bones.
Loving the Switch too. I gotta tell you, boys, I did the midnight launch.
Me too.
Oh baby, was it awful?
Did you?
It was
I'm kind of curious because
mistake.
I know it took forever and it was really slow for you, but something I found interesting I went to the 3 p.m. pre-order launch at GameStop, so because I didn't have a pre-order.
Yeah.
And then I went back, which made it more efficient. But at the 3 p.m., because I was in line for so long, I chatted with some other people in line, which is kind of an interesting experience. One, because they're really nice guys, but I think like going in, I had this almost knee-jerk, like, I wouldn't say it so far as like judgment, but like, wow, these guys are like really nerdy, like really into video games. And then I was like, wait,
unlike
a second,
me,
I'm here too.
Yeah. I'm here for
what do you
mean?
Reason. You fucking dork.
I'm
lining
here
up for a fucking video game console.
I'm here for the
I'm
same
here, but
reason.
it's different for me.
It did feel, I was like, you guys are like you're trying a little too hard to be into the Switch. I'm just here to buy. Like
you got here slightly ahead of me in line. Do you want it bad enough? Come on.
Yeah, I guess you guys had nothing else going on, and it's fine. But it was just a funny like. What is that in me that I was like, even as I was having a nice conversation with these strangers, I was like, I'm a little bit different from these. Like I like needed to feel superior on some level. Yeah.
Everyone in front of you in line.
Yeah.
Everyone in front of you in line is desperate.
Yeah.
And everyone behind you in line is like a casual tryhard who doesn't understand.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone behind me is a fake girl gamer or whatever we call it.
Yeah, no, you are.
Tell us about your nightmare. What was? Was it just really slow?
Interesting. So I thought I pre-ordered it, so this is gonna be a real breeze. I'm gonna be in and out half an hour max.
And this is like a GameStop or something. Like, where do you guys go to
GameStop? And let me tell you, emphasis on the word "stop," because there was no game start happening at this launch, my friends. Wow. Ooh. So likewise. So I got there at 11:15 p.m. because they open the store at 11. They don't really know what midnight means, I guess. I'm throwing a lot of shade at GameStop.
Yeah.
And I had a similar thing of like, I'm going to chat with people in line. Wait, what?
I own a share of GameStop.
Do you? Because it's going to the moon? Or
back in the pandemic,
Switch, Reddit.
I got on the train. Yeah. No,
it's hard to think of things that start with M.
You also said one that starts with R.
A Switch midnight release. Wait, a Switch midnight release. We got there.
Oh, now imagine if that was. We should just end the episode. I think.
Imagine if that had been 6 minutes ago.
It's not going to get more satisfying than that. It's not going to get more satisfying than that. Well, great, Kev. I'm glad you own a share because you can send my complaints straight to Mr. Stop.
Yeah. I call him Game, but yeah.
You call him Game, yes.
We're on first name.
It's spelled James, but it's pronounced Game.
It's Stop. Game Stop.
Very good. I'll have my controller rumbling, not with a cord. I don't know.
This is so clunky.
So yeah, baby. So I went in. I was like, I'm going to chat with these folks. I'm going to be a social gamer, right? Because we're all trying to beat the stigma.
Yeah.
And the vibe just wasn't right for me. But there were a bunch of like middle-aged dads with a couple of tag-along kids. I assume, the kids were there to support them emotionally. And they had like I kid you not, about 8 of them in the end of the line, the back of the line, got in a full circle and were just broing it up. These dads talking about all sorts of things, life, what was going on with them, favorite memories from when they were a child, kids playing GoldenEye in the dorms. And I really felt jealous and left out. Like I wanted to be part of this community that was building.
You needed a son.
Yeah.
Or daughter.
I did.
Yeah.
You should have walked over and
real
pretended
gamer
that you had it up. Yeah.
I should have. Yeah, I should have joined them. Yeah. And the guy in front of me wasn't really in the mood for conversation because it ended up being about 10 degrees and incredibly windy, and he was just wearing a t-shirt and he was visibly shivering and shaking for over an hour, and I felt so bad.
Oh my god. And you had to wait outside for over an hour?
Yeah, we were outside for I was there for 3 hours.
Is it reasonable to assume that you could have gone the next day and got it within 15 minutes?
Kevin, 15 minutes would have been the long shot. I probably would have walked in and out of there in 3 minutes if I had just waited a day. But I couldn't.
What is that? I want to know what that is because you guys both went. I don't know. I can imagine if you're doing it with somebody, if you're going with a friend.
Yeah.
And it sounds like both of you went on your own. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it would have been great if you would have been there, Kev.
Yeah.
But,
you didn't invite me. I would have said yes. But
I thought you got an alert because you had a share. I thought you knew what was going on.
Let me put it in terms that you might understand.
Please.
Let's say that there's a new Dan Schneider project and it's launching at midnight. He was
Dan Schneider.
He's the sort of known abuser who worked on some Disney shows who you love.
Oh, Big Danny S.
Yeah, so you might be so excited to view it that to get kind of the pre-release season pass, you would show up and kind of be excited to see Zoe 102 or whatever it is.
Yeah, but if I know that the project has had somebody kind of hurt, abused, they've worked on it in a way that has made sort of their life worse and traumatized, I'm actually not going to end up waiting in line for that kind of thing. I'm not going to be doing because I'm going to be paying so much money that I have the VIP experience. I'm getting priority access.
Right.
Because I really want to fund those types of projects.
You get the app, you get the fast pass.
Exactly.
And they send you the pre-screener to make sure that it's above board and everything.
Right.
I think like there was something about, for me, I didn't have a pre-order. So it was kind of exciting to like, can I get one on launch day? And I don't know. I've never really done one of these. It's interesting that a few people in our friend group all did this. And I think for me, it was a first, but I just,
did Luke do this too?
Luke did it.
Well, he got his, he pre-ordered and had it delivered to him.
He had
like,
it mailed.
Like a genius.
See, that's the smart thing to do.
And Dan and I, our friend, another one of our friends did it, and we're texting each other. Both of us waited for 3 hours. He was in a mall waiting. That lucky son.
3 hours? I mean, he made a smart decision. The mall is indoors.
And Thomas here rolls up. He doesn't have a pre-order on the day. He rolls up. What, you're in and out in like half an hour? The second, like this, when you go back?
Yes, but I had to wait for 3 hours to get the pre-order in the afternoon. So I still did the waiting. It sort of was like I did a save state in real life where it's like, well, you already waited in line, and I loaded the save state at midnight to get my Switch.
It's because he's an American. That's the free market capitalism that
America is to be an American right now.
Well.
Yeah, exactly. And you can actually. All you have to do is kill a few people, and then they just let you in.
I think there was, at least for me, something kind of exciting of just like being there at the onset of something, and as dumb as it is, and it's video games and whatever. To be sincere, there was just a little bit of like, it's kind of a moment, and it's kind of fun to just like be there at the start and be part of it, even if it was annoying.
I will typically catch like a Marvel movie on opening night because the energy in the theater is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Even if I don't love the like, I have the same thing that you do where I feel exceptional, but I'm in the
you feel
crowd.
superior to everyone.
Yeah. Of
and
course.
you support James Gunn in particular, right? You try to sort of see his films and make sure that he's good.
Right. I think
I thought he was a Schneider guy, right? So Zack Schneider,
just Schneider.
Yeah. To be clear, I'm also definitely housing a couple hot dogs, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not touching that Oscar Mayer shit.
No.
I'm on Schneider's meats.
James Gunn got
Schneider's
canceled,
and Oscar will never meet.
No, James Gunn did kind of get canceled, and then it was like retracted. Like
okay.
Yeah, so he's in good books now.
Yeah,
James
Guardians of
Gunn's
the
not a bad
Galaxy
guy.
3 was so good it uncanceled it.
If you make a really good, I mean, it's kind of true, Roman Polanski, whatever, but like if you make a movie good enough, people are just like, yeah, fuck it.
Well, it was actually, I think with Gunn, it was like they had the original cancellation was based on like tweets from 15 years plus ago, and then like and it was pretty much like everybody who's worked with him was like, yeah, that's not accurate. And so Disney, like, they did like a it was like virtue signaling to cancel him by Disney, and then they like, I don't know.
The decade
Not that I'm a big
plus
James Gunn
old
guy.
the decade plus old tweets is a tough cancel because it's just like, are we really like digging up internet history to be like, this person is over? Like,
I mean,
it's a tough sell.
It's not. It's
I
not
don't
stick.
know. I don't know James Gunn. I call him Game Gun.
Right.
And then I use the
James
little
Gunn.
duck hunt gun.
Yeah.
When I go to a movie and I aim it at
I
the
got the
screen and I
James
pretend I can
Gunn.
shoot the characters on the screen.
Right. Yeah.
When you're playing Bio Break, you got to hold that game's gun and shoot at the screen.
If you do it just right, a little 8-bit dog comes up in the corner of of whatever movie you're watching and just sort of chuckles at you.
Kevin, did we check in with you enough, or is there something you would like to share?
I don't have anything to get off my chest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought
Like
so. If
I
we
will
want to
say-
get started, yeah, go ahead.
There was one more moment I need to highlight from the release.
Oh, yeah.
From the ASMR that I did was when it was, it was about an hour and a half in. The mood was bleak. People were questioning their life choices, both about doing the midnight release and other things that they had done in their lives. And two young guys pull up in a car, huge, like really revving, like you can hear the engine, no muffler. They pull up. It's like 12:45 in the morning, and they go, "What are you guys doing out here?" And then one of the dads, being sociable, goes, "Switch 2 release." And then the two young guys just look at each other and just go, "Sad," and then they just peel out.
My God.
Oh no!
What are you guys?
It did not help. It did
What
not
are
help
those
the
two
mood.
guys doing? They're just driving around finding lineups and
They're living
making fun
life,
of
man.
We also got made fun of by a guy who seemed to have like some psychosis. He walked down the line and he was just like basically doing stand-up about everyone. And the line that I overheard was him being like, "You look like you're in the video game," to one person who had like colorful hair or something. And then we were like, wow, that guy was really like kind of rude. But then we watched him and he walked past the line and he was just also talking to random pedestrians across the street who were doing other things. So I think this guy was just like, anyone I see, I'm going to comment on.
Right.
Targeting great. I think he'd be a great guest for you guys on this show.
Actually,
yeah. I mean, to be fair, I don't know. What night did this come out? When did you guys do this?
This was the 4th, so Wednesday night.
So 9 million years ago.
9 million years ago. Yeah, on the 4th, it's weird. I was driving around with a buddy of mine like late at night.
Yeah.
And
you got that new
James,
you got that new spoiler.
I don't know. I was kind of zooted, so I didn't really know what was going on. But we sort of.
You rented a muscle car this week, didn't you?
Yeah. And I had like a huge muffler on it.
Yeah.
And or no muffler. I think I don't know.
Right.
I
Right.
guess
It was one of the other.
Yeah. And then we like saw some. I want to say dorkasses. I don't know. And we sort of teased them.
Well, I'm so glad you're talking about something else. Otherwise, my feelings would be hurt.
Yeah,
it is crazy that like a high school level bullying experience happened. To what I can only assume is a group of mostly men who are far and away outside of the high school experience. That's special, and that's a testament to how good our society is.
I mean, in a way, it kind of felt right in some way of like, yes, I do deserve to be bullied a little bit.
Yeah.
For what I'm doing.
I mean, yeah. You are out at night in the middle of the night outside. One guy in front of you was freezing to death.
Yeah.
That is the real price of the Switch 2 is
Did you
the
play
social
it as soon as you
stigma.
got home with it?
What?
Did either of you play it as soon as you got home?
No, I waited till the morning.
Yeah.
Why then? Why?
Well, we were.
I wanted to have it first thing. I was sleepy. I did open it and take a nice look at it, and it was like, oh, this looks great. And then I set it up in the morning. I had a few hours before work, and I enjoyed that. It was embarrassing telling people I was a therapist as I waited in line, because I thought, like, if I saw my therapist doing that, I might have some questions about like their life priorities a little bit.
Right.
So well, yeah,
but I assume none of your clients know this show exists either, because
I hope not. But I bet one of them has discovered it. And look, I have a life outside of therapy. It's okay to be multiple things. You can be a therapist and a good person and a bad podcaster. I contain multitudes. But we need to get to a segment. We've been rambling on and on. And Jesse, I thought because you helped us pitch a bunch of new segments last time.
What about this?
We would focus specifically on. Yeah.
Great. A stigmatized Mario ritual. Is that anything? That's ASMR.
Good. I was also thinking a sometimes muffled rev could describe the car. But, yeah.
Okay, here's the wheel.
Okay, here we go. Woo! I can't hear the sound effect, Kevin, but it's okay. I assume it's over now.
Oh. Well, yeah. Now that makes me think that none of the sounds that I've been playing have been coming through, because I've been playing quite a few. And so sorry if this episode's lo-fi, y'all, but I ain't got time to edit that shit.
Yeah.
Lo-fi to study/relax to.
So
ASMR.
Our first segment is called Mary Bergen. And it says participants must discuss what kind of Christmas gift would be great for Jesse Bergen. Ideally, the guest decides. So the guest is Jesse Bergen.
I see what's going on here. I see what's going on here. All of the segments I made you guys make up rapid fire have come back to bite me in the ass.
That's right. We like to consider ourselves kind of ass nibblers, as they say.
Ass munching. Oh shit, I got the letters wrong. And now I said that out loud. Well,
ass munching.
AMSR. All right. What this is a segment where I tell you what I want for Christmas.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I think we planned it for it not to be you as the guest. But since you're here,
yeah, but none of your guests know who I am. So either way, this is kind of a flop. Damn. Well, I got a Switch 2, and I'm feeling like I need a little bit of a screen protector on there. Right now, I'm being a big man, and I'm like, I'm never gonna damage this screen. I'm in my 30s. I'm an adult. I'm responsible. But maybe if someone else were to give it to me, I'd be like, well, all right, I have to use it. It's a gift.
Right. Do
that
you find
or
the
like
protectors helpful? Are you using your Switch on the go a lot?
I am.
Feel like my Switch never leaves the house.
I love on planes, like traveling, it's really nice. When I used to drive around for Mission Improbable, we'd be sometimes in a van for like 10 hours. And that was like the greatest time to have a Switch. Like I would just play Into the Breach or something, and it would allow those horrible drives to feel a little better. So I do use it a lot, but the Switch 2 being a new product, I'm a little anxious actually to take it on the go, just because I'm like, this is valuable. It's a little scarier to bring it like onto the train or something.
If you scratch that, that's another 3 hours in line.
With
the rejects of society. So
the dregs,
the annoying scratch mid removal team.
All right.
All
right. Kind of added a T on there. I'll tell you about a gift, Christmas gift that I loved that I got.
Yeah,
I don't know
if I told the story
on here. Yeah. This was when my family was living in Nigeria when I was very, very young. I was probably about 6 or 7. And they wanted, it was around Christmas time, and there's no snow in Nigeria. It's very close to the equator. So we lived in a sort of a sub-Saharan city. So not a lot of festive vibes generally, also very heavily Muslim. So not very Christian or Christmas, not very Christmas. Or Christian. I mean, put the Christ back in Christmas, as I'm always saying. And so my parents were like, hey, let's do something Christmassy for the kids. and I still believed in Santa Claus. And they took me to a weird. It was near there aren't really malls in that city, but there was a bunch of stores and sort of a strip, right? And there was a small sort of building. I think it was built just for this season, this month. Small kind of ramshackle shack, and they brought me in there. And there was a large Santa Claus in this shack, and he was Nigerian, so he was black, and he was just Santa Claus, white beard. Yep. And so I was like, okay, as a kid, I was like, this is not anything I've seen represented in any of the media I've consumed about Christmas.
Even as a kid, you're open-minded enough to be like, okay.
I think it was probably in that moment that I realized Santa was just a guy. And I was like, this is a Nigerian man
here.
Yeah,
that hut travels around blue states and tricks kids out of loving Christmas. That's what it does. Shatters the illusion.
Santa, yeah. Just like...
That's crazy. So
what you sat on this strange man's lap, right? And he reached into his sack and he pulled out a dart gun, had a little plunger. It's one of those plunger guns.
Oh. Yeah.
And my parents were pretty anti-violence at this point, pretty strict, and guns were not cool, were not toys. But this was the only Christmassy thing we were doing all year.
Right.
So he hands me this toy gun. And
this really is a Republican's nightmare. Well, actually, the toy gun, I guess, is kind of a good thing, but they don't want you to arm the left. So
And and so I was psyched. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the meaning of Christmas. I took my gun home, and we would it's all we did for weeks was just set up Christmas cards on shelves and then shoot them down with this toy gun. We were a little bit,
come around.
Come around on it. Yeah, now they're card carrying members of the NRA.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Your parents take you to skeet shooting practice on a regular basis now.
Yeah. We formed our own country in our house with our own laws, and if you come and try to get our guns, man,
you put a little human target up of white Santa and try to shoot him in the head at the gun range.
So I feel like another great gift would be another little plunger gun, just for nostalgia's sake,
old time's sake.
Yeah. It's crazy that they made a movie about your experience, Jess. I think that's fascinating.
Did they?
They did.
Yeah, they did.
You're thinking about James Gunn again? Oh, Jesus! Let's not say what that joke was. You have to watch it on YouTube to find out. We're not going to say it out loud for the audio listeners, but if you really want to know, you can check out the YouTube video.
It's probably exactly what you think it was.
Fans of the show, no, I never go there.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. Do you guys have any all-time?
Let's take a break.
Okay. All right, forget it.
Wait, I'm not ready. Fuck.
Hi, Jay.
Hey, Caitlin. We're the co-hosts of a little podcast called Gimme That D.
Did that get your attention?
It's a Disney Channel original movie breakdown podcast.
We are breaking down all of your favorite childhood movies that aired on the Disney Channel from 96 to 06, the golden age of cinema.
Duh. We are two F-list comedians with a lot of A-list comedian friends, and together we break down and celebrate these absolutely batshit crazy films.
So we're talking aloof parents,
inexplicable plots,
bold cuts responsible for sexual awakenings the world over.
And we ask the hard-hitting journalistic questions like, what the fuck is this?
And could we have maybe taken a second pass at that script?
But we love them.
Oh, God, yes.
So listen to us wherever you get your podcasts.
To stay in the know of what movie we're covering each week and who our guest is, follow us on Instagram at GMTDpod.
Yeah, but for real, do it.
We're back. Jesse, what the fuck were you trying to ask us?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I bet it was about gifts or something.
Who cares? That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter that you have a segment for us.
Oh yeah, sure. I can do a segment.
Let's do that.
All right. So Kevin and I are in the throes of passion and doing
We be fucking right now.
We're about to launch for the first time a Tennessee Williams, a streetcar named Desire.
Yeah,
going up in Winnipeg from June.
Yeah,
what is it?
11th to the 15th.
So that made me think of, wow, a streetcar named Desire. What that would be crazy if you were racing in that, a la Mario Kart. So my segment is the other two people on the podcast. One of them is going to come up with a vehicle, and the other one will come up with an emotion or a feeling, and the third person has to describe what this would look like if it were a sort of Wacky Racers-esque.
Yeah.
Like
instead of a streetcar named Desire, it would be like a Jeep named Anger.
Exactly. And then you describe what would look like, and then maybe what the name of the driver would be.
Yeah.
Is this something a streetcar maimed retire?
No.
Oh, ASMR. Holy shit.
Fuck. He did it. I mean, it didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense when you think about it, but it did have all 4 letters for sure.
You guys are reacting way too positively.
It rhymed, so I thought it was maybe more coherent than it was.
No, that's when a sandbag falls on George's foot and he has to step back from directing play.
A sandbag maimed retired professor. No, he still works. Anyway.
So
this is great.
So one of us picks a vehicle.
Kevin,
and I'll pick an emotion.
Jesse will tell us.
And I have to. Great. I'll do it. Yeah, I'll show you guys how it's done.
Okay. I'm gonna say a Cybertruck.
I was gonna say disgust. So,
so it's just a Cybertruck.
Yeah, just a regular old.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Disgust. Yeah.
A Cybertruck named Disgust. Yeah. So it's a big old Cybertruck. It's a stretch Cybertruck, like those stretch Hummers. So it's like 4 times the length of a normal Cybertruck.
Must have been a block long.
It's I bet it's a pain to navigate in traffic. That's a little Streetcar
lines from Streetcar. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't feel left out at all.
And it has this like mouth painted on the front, big and then it has like a frown, and it's grimacing in disgust. And it has like in the tinted windows. You can see lots of figures and shapes inside, and they are just shaking their heads.
Sort of a bacchanalia of disappointment going on inside the car.
Watching a stretch limo go by with people shaking their head and tisk-tisking you
I like
while
that.
you're waiting in line for the switch.
I could imagine
the driver of this vehicle, we'll call her Penelopelia C. Featherstrom, and she's a very put together grammar school teacher. Yeah. And everything that you do, every other car she passes, every other driver just brings up disgust in her. They're not to her standards. She's very disappointed.
Right.
Penelopelia is a real rough person. Like that is a mouthful of awful.
It's also close to another P word that you might wish to distance yourself from.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think we were saying Roman.
You're a Penelope style, right?
Roman Polanski practiced Penelopelia, I believe.
Penelopelia.
He practiced it. I thought he was pretty good at it.
He perfected it. Yeah. Jesse, why don't you come up with a car? I'll do the emotion. Kevin will tell us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This vehicle. We're gonna do. It's gonna be a dinghy. It's just gonna be a rubber. It's gonna be it's some sort of a dinghy, watercraft.
Yeah, a dinghy named Hanger.
A dinghy named Hanger, like Hungry Anger.
Yep.
A dinghy named.
I hope I never get that hangry.
Oh.
You can always depend on the kindness of hangers.
Okay, so it's kind of at first glance a very serviceable life raft that may have been may have people on it who were shipwrecked or something like that, but it's clearly quite weathered and worn, as if it's been used for a long period of time, and the straps are sort of torn, and all the sort of it's very much just serving its basic functions, but you can see that the back has a sort of jerry-rigged boat motor that's been like attached to it to allow it to kind of propel a little faster, but the top of it kind of has like a hopper that you would feed into, because not only it's driven by one emaciated sort of like desiccated man.
That'd be me.
Yeah. and he's constantly trying to propel himself towards land, but the problem is that his boat only runs on food as well, and so he has to sort of ration.
That's hard.
Ration between feeding himself and fueling his journey towards safety.
I have an interesting idea for an indie game where you're like, it's a survival game on the water, but you have to share resources with your like anthropomorphic boat. So it's like the boat is also hungry.
And
so
every time, and I should say, there's a face on the bottom of the dinghy, and
oh god,
and it has like a very deep voice, and
it has to come up for air like a dolphin or whatever.
It just it flips over, and everyone on board just
dunks it. But the thing is, while they're driving this dinghy, every time the man comes across some food, maybe he fishes, maybe he just is lucky, something happens and he ends up with food. The boat every time's like, that looks like it would taste pretty good. Be nice to get some of that in me, and just sort of subtly kind of guilting and hinting that he deserves the food maybe more than the man does. And I think that is a dinghy named Hanger. So it's not quite. It's the thing is, it's fueled by the food, but it can't operate unless it has it. So it's sort of. It's representative of Hanger in its debilitating sense, and not so much in its sense of fury.
Well, and you're not supposed to eat 30 minutes before you're in the water, so feeding the boat might lead to a stomach ache while you're.
And that's a paradoxical situation to be in for sure. So
Does the man also sometimes drink gasoline?
I mean, of course. Yeah. How do you think he got so desiccated? And also, that means he's like sort of tripping the light fantastic, as they say, while he's riding.
That's sick.
What could you give a name to the driver?
The driver, sure, Gibbons McDumfrey.
Excellent.
Yeah, sure. His name's Frederast.
What's another really awful thing to accuse somebody of, and then sort of spin it into nomenclature? Yeah. His name is Carson.
Carson. The worst name a person could have.
Betty Heft.
Yeah, imagine if that show was called Arson Daily. I'd be like, that's too much. That's too often.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of burning down buildings, right? Too many.
All right, let's do one more.
Yeah, so what's the next rotation here?
Kevin, you're doing the vehicle. Jesse, the emotion. I'll describe it.
Dirt bike.
A dirt bike named Fergalicious.
The emotion that Jesse sort of usually kind of stays, that's your base state, I would say, right?
Yeah.
So,
definitionally, yes.
Yeah. And I
can give you another one.
No. This is perfect. So it's of course a black dirt, of course. And it definitely has two kind of different functions on the manual gear shift, I and P. P for park, I for ignition. So it's a black with an IP on it, and it's what's cool about this dirt bike is if you wanna get it going, if you want this baby to purr, you got to lean in real close and say, let's get it started in ha, and then it will get started. And if you want it to go into nitrous mode, you have to say the uncensored version with the slur in it.
Oh,
and then
wow.
it'll go extra fast. That's not something I'm encouraging you to do. It's just how the dirt bike works. What is interesting about it is it drives quite well. But much like Fergie, it sometimes forgets the lyrics to Fergalicious at a live show. So sometimes it will forget how to drive due to kind of all of the overwhelm of being a dirt bike, the responsibility, the legacy that it's carrying. And
it's
then
interesting that most of your references for Fergie are from not her time as a solo artist when she made Fergalicious.
Well, I barely know anything about either, so I'm using what I have. It's nice that, it would have been fun if you had this one and maybe could have used your depths of music knowledge, but that's not how it worked out, is it?
I mean,
she did forget the lyrics to Fergalicious, which is funny because it was about her. It's an autobiographical song, and she fucked up on stage. And much like that, the dirt bike will sometimes...
Wait a minute. You think that Fergalicious is an autobiographical song? That's how you want to...
Well, yeah, if I wrote a song called Tomalicious, it would clearly be about my life experience, right? Sometimes the dirt bike it'll sort of like do reverse controls, like when you get the mushroom in Smash Bros. So it forgets how to drive, and you have to tilt right to go left and that kind of thing. That's a dirt bike named Fergalicious.
A dirt bike named Fergalicious. That's a good. I like this. George will be proud.
Well done. I threw you a bit of a curveball there.
No, that was great. Why don't we do one more Jesse segment before we close up for the?
I like this. Yeah,
we'll spin the wheel. Woo!
Yeah, I can't. I don't. My sound effects aren't fucking working. So do it in your own heads, listeners.
Even though I was going to choose it anyway, we actually got on the wheel of 100 a Jesse segment, exactly number 97.
Bingo bongo.
Howie Mandel experience. And so the description of this is, I think Kevin came up with this one, or maybe I did. Touchless car washes are a popular thing, maybe the most popular. What's a slightly monotonous task that would be heavily improved by being touchless? Participants must each offer one. So because of Howie Mandel's kind of germophobia, I guess there's a touchless, if you could do a monotonous task touchlessly, what would really fix that up? I got one right off the bat. Doing the dishes. I mean, I guess that's what a dishwasher
I was going to say, if only there were a machine that could
but I think like even handling the dirty, sticky dishes, there's something about that. You get a little gross food on your... My uncle used to say this, that it's like food turns into garbage so quickly. Like it's on your plate and you're like, this is delicious. And then as soon as you push your plate away and you're cleaning up, suddenly the thing that was once delicious is now garbage. And it's a weird transformation, but you're suddenly disgusted by what was just being in your body. And if I could just eliminate that part, I would love to kind of have the dishes clean themselves up like a Beauty and the Beast situation where they kind of roll away into the dishwasher without me having to handle them.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful dream.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say this, and I wish I didn't. I really wish I didn't. But given that the subject of the podcast so far has been very much heavily focused on ASMR and things like that, I mean, touchless busting, right?
Have you ever pulled that off? I feel like that's kind of like a cryptid. Like people talk about it on the forums. Like I busted without touching myself. It's sort of like an elite level move, and I imagine
I call that a question. Is that a question you call it ghost busting
because it's ephemeral?
Ghost busting makes me feel good. I would like you to sincerely answer that. Have you busted from your mind alone?
From the power of your mind.
I'll let you decide whether or not that's happened.
Well, I guess that's what a nocturnal emission is, really.
I guess it is. I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, it sort of sets up a disturbing thought experiment where Kevin could be doing this podcast, he'd be talking with his hands. And
we think we're safe.
That he's busting as he's doing that. He could have been busting this whole episode.
What was that?
It could be.
What was that little reaction? Jesse calling it out seemed to really turn you on, and then you immediately got there.
putting the floodlight on him. Only
you're an
helps.
exhibitionist. You love to be perceived.
Brings a whole new meaning to floodlight.
Yeah. It would be fun to do one episode like where you and I are competing to see who can bust first.
Wow, I'm so glad.
Would it really be fun to do that? Would it be fun for you and I?
It would be a solo. We wouldn't have a guest. We wouldn't have a guest.
You know what? Make it a segment. Make it a segment. Put it on the wheel.
Put my name on it. I'm co-signing that.
Yeah. Participants must try to bust ASAP. It's just what the segment is, and we have to fucking.
Man, you guys have come a long way. By the way, I've done a few of these, and you guys are in fine form.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thanks, Jesse. I do think hands-free, real talk, honestly, driving, right? I mean, which is just taking public transit.
Or taking a Waymo.
I don't know what that is.
It's like a self-driving Uber.
Oh, does that exist in the States?
In California, yeah.
I've taken one of those in Las Vegas years ago when I was there through Lyft. They got us in the car and they were like, this one's not going to have a driver. And then there was just a guy in the passenger seat explaining to us how the car worked.
Why don't you drive it, man? You're here.
Yeah. It was really weird. Yeah. But yeah, so I think I would love to be able to, and I mean, Winnipeg is such a friggin' car city, and my life dictates that I do need to get around so much that it's like public transit's really not a great option for me. But it would be awesome to be able to get to and from places while also using that time for something else.
You could be editing the podcast while you're driving to work.
Yeah, and then maybe an episode of What We Do in the Basement would come out at some point. Right? Yeah.
So you're looking for sort of a sentient motorized ride.
Nice. Very good. And it has a consciousness. Fucking stop coming.
Wow. I'm gonna say ironing.
Yelling at me.
I'm gonna say ironing.
It makes you come harder.
Ironing. Do you do a lot of ironing, Jess?
I do. I wear a lot of collared shirts. I wear a lot of collared shirts, and they get real wrinkly, and I have to iron, and it takes so long.
Yeah.
Are you a hang dry guy?
Hang dry? They're still. I don't know. They don't. I have like a drying rack, and I kind of have to fold them over to hang them, and maybe that's why they get wrinkly.
If I may,
I'll just say, you know,
I never.
I need help.
A lot of collared shirts.
I need help.
Hang dry.
Personally, I find
dryer, take them out, throw them on a hanger, put them on a rack, like hanging on a hanger.
Personally, I find a steamer most reliable.
Cleveland or
it was the letters. It was the letters. It actually was the letters.
Oh, it was a stealth.
And I do like a steamer. It's kind of a hands-free iron. You can sort of just bring it up to the shirt and get most of the wrinkles out.
I pulled out 2 different steamers from the closet yesterday, because I had to bring them to the theater for the costumes. And let me tell you, if you don't take out the water from a steamer and it sits in there for like, say, a year, maybe plus, it gets really nasty. It gets really nasty. You got to flush it.
Well, that's the game of the ep. We found the game of the ep.
But I like this. So are you imagining you're just looking at, like, you look really closely at one of the wrinkles and it straightens itself out as you kind of eye it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like you still have to like spend the time. You still have to spend the time doing it. It doesn't make it.
It honestly kind of hurts. Like it gives you a headache.
It gives you a tension headache, but it's gorgeous.
But I can play Mario Kart while it's happening. So.
That's good. I like that. I didn't know that you ironed a lot. I mean, your shirts are uncreased on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So
it's all the time spent, man. Hours spent.
Yeah.
Yep. My backup would also be snaking the drain is disgusting, and I hate that.
Oh yeah. Snaking the drain.
I kind of find it very satisfying. I'll say, as gross as it is, there's a like weird, like, ooh, I got all the gunk out kind of moment that feels good.
Yeah.
So I almost would miss that pull where you get all the hair and stuff.
It was sort of alluded to earlier, but cooking, I think.
Oh my God. That would be nice.
That would be crazy. Like you could just go to a building and they'd have someone do it for you. And then
say like 2615 Portage Avenue or 1866 Ness Avenue.
Yeah.
In Winnipeg. Yeah.
Or even a restaurant, maybe.
Yeah. Well,
if not, like,
I mean,
one
have
of
you
those
guys seen
magic
those
buildings,
things?
maybe a restaurant.
You think that they're magic buildings?
Yeah. Well, I
when I was
you
in
mentioned
Vegas,
that, but like also a restaurant would
the
be
same
nice.
time I saw the same time. The same time I saw a self-driving car, I went in Vegas. They had a bar that had a bartender that was automated. And so it was like this big mechanical arm thing, and it would like grab stuff and do things. But it was pretty dystopian more than anything else to see like a mechanical bartender. So I imagine if there was like robo arms flipping food and.
This is going to be a dark thought,
Nice.
but given that this was Vegas, there must be someone who gambled at an automated slot machine, lost money, got a bunch of drinks from an automated bartender because they were depressed about losing all their money, and then drove an automated car into like their death, like to sort of
into
some kind of ravine or something like
right.
that.
Into some sort of automated ravine.
Like, yeah.
And people don't talk enough about how waterways are AI. They don't talk about that enough, I have to say. Yeah.
We just wrote Black Mirror, guys. We just come up.
Yeah.
But there is like the gambling addict where you never interact with another human and destroy your life in I mean, it's bleak, but it's coming, unfortunately.
It's automated
suicide.
Oh yeah, suicide motorized ravine. Is the idea. Yeah. Automated suicide motorized ravine.
Guys, we have to wrap it up.
Jesse, do you have anything to plug, bud?
Yeah, I just got one more thing to say. Obviously, life's hard, life's tough out there, especially for people in Gaza and West Bank. If you can, give some money to Islamic Relief Fund Canada. They get resources and supplies to people in Gaza and the West Bank.
We'll put a
do
link
that
in the description to Islamic Relief for Palestine.
Do that. Sure. And then I also just got to say acronyms. So many reaches.
Some of them didn't quite land, but I still thought it was fun.
Yeah, if you enjoyed this and the timbre and tone of all three of our voices, you can catch us on What We Do in the Basement. It's a Let's Play D&D podcast that comes out on a super regular, super consistent basis. Still, the guy who edits it and DMs it is not overwhelmed and not struggling to get it out, but you can check that out. What We Do in the Basement's a great show. We have like 80 plus episodes of really great D&D comedy content, and also as Jesse alluded to, A Streetcar Named Desire opens this week. We open on Wednesday. This episode's hopefully coming out on Monday if I can get it out in time. And that means that in 2 days, you can come see me and Jesse and other friends of the show, Justin and Tasha, who was on last week, and Ian, who is the backstage assistant stage manager for the show. Come see it. It's great. Mo's on the show. Mo's stage manager. There's amazing stuff. It's the best play ever written, I think. I don't know. It's incredible. You should see it in person if you can.
If you're a fan of the show, I think you'll be stunned. I haven't seen any of the rehearsals, but I know you will be surprised that Kevin isn't always like this. Like, he can actually do cool, serious things as well, and he is doing one of them.
So, and if you want to pull up in an SUV and sort of shout expletives at the people lined up outside of our theater, that's great too. Gas Station Art Center. Check out the 28thminute.com. THE28THMINUT.
These two cool guys watching A Streetcar Named Desire and genuinely being moved and shouting sad.
What about you, T? What you got?
Just a bunch of improv and sketch. Secret Family's taking a break, but follow us, Secret Family Sketch. And then I'm in Trigger Happy Ensemble every Saturday at The Annoyance. And I'm also doing a musical improv show called Camp Whatsitsname at the Revival. Check those out. Let me know.
Good shit all around. Jesse, thank you for coming on the show.
What a pleasure.
Try a little harder next time. Have yourselves a good June. Bye.
Bye.